Linx allows for the creation of Excel files with data from any source. This is made simple with the Excel plugin. Within the Excel plugin, we are going to use the Excel write function, which will allow us to create Excel files. Before we can write data to an Excel file, we first need to collect it. For this example, let's use the execute SQL function to retrieve data from a database. I've pre-configured a connection string. Next, we will also have to configure the SQL. It is important to note that you can write any data to an Excel file. You don't need to specifically pull it from a SQL database. You could, for example, pull that data from a file, an API, or anywhere else. Now that we've got data to work with, we can write that data to an Excel file by using the Excel write function. There are multiple properties for us to configure, such as the file path, which is the file path of the file that we're going to write the data to. We can also choose what to do if the file does not exist. We can create a file or create a file from a template. We can also specify the sheet name, if there should be footer rows, and the values that we're going to write to the file. It's important to note that the file path can be either static or dynamic, meaning that you can specify what the file path should be in the expression editor. This is especially useful when you need to dynamically configure what the file name will be. For example, you need to create an export for a specific month, or you need to create a report for a specific client. For now, if the file doesn't exist, we're simply going to create the file. Next, we need to set the values. Here we're going to set the columns to our fields that we're pulling from our database. You could also apply transformations to the data in the expression editor if you needed to. And that's it, we're all set to test. We will be creating our Excel file in this folder. To test, we can simply debug and then run our function. Once our function has executed, we'll now be able to see the data that has been written into our Excel file that has been created for us. Let's delete this file because I want to do something else as well. I want to create a file from a template that I've pre-created. To do this, in the file does not exist drop-down, simply select copy template. This is what the template looks like that we're going to copy. We also need to set the template file location. This can be static or dynamic, but since we're always going to refer to this template, I'm simply going to select it in my file selector. And that's it, we're ready to test. Now we can debug again, execute the function, and when opening the Excel file, it should be now formatted according to our template. And that's how you can quickly write data to Excel files. You can create those files or even append data. Once the file has been created, you can do anything with the file. For example, you can send it via email by using the email plugin and then use the send email function. You can also copy the file to a specific location, upload it to FTP server, or upload it via API. To learn more, go to linx.software.